Hey everybody, Joe Joseph here for thedailySheeple.com, and this is your news shot. Let's go to Activist Post, activistpost.com. House votes to make Space Corps the sixth branch of U.S. military. So now, militarizing space and weaponizing space has gone into overdrive. If they're considering this, listen to this. It says the U.S. has an Army, a Navy, an Air Force, a Marine Corps, and a Coast Guard. And the House Armed Services Committee today voted to create a sixth branch of the American military dubbed the U.S. Space Corps, which would be wholly responsible for fighting wars in space. Because, I mean, we haven't found a way to screw things up enough here on planet Earth. Now we have to take the wars off of planet Earth. This is just great. This is great news. The Space Corps would largely be split off from the Air Force, which was the last new branch of the military created way back in 1947. The proposal is a continuation of the Pentagon's increased efforts in recent years to get heavy funding for space combat. This comes just a couple of weeks after the Air Force created a Deputy Chief of Staff post of space operations. And significantly, this whole undercuts their efforts to be in charge of the U.S. military's increased focus on future space wars. And why is this happening? Well, because in the media, and I'm not totally convinced that this is actually really going on, but the media is certainly hyping this. They're saying now, of course, that, Kim Jong-un has launched a satellite into space that has basically a direct flight path over the United States that could have or have on board some sort of nuclear device that would be used as an EMP type weapon to take down the grid across a large swath of the United States. Whether or not that's true remains to be seen, if it'll be seen at all. But, there's talk of China. Back during the Cold War, we were heavy into weaponizing space. This is not a new concept by any means. But the fact that now they're talking about creating a sixth branch of the American military, the Space Corps, now you know that militarizing space just got kicked into high gear. And normally, after they've recognized it, see, they've been doing a lot of work in the meantime. You've had that X-37B space plane, albeit very small, has been flying classified missions now for a very long time. I think the last mission was well over a year before it touched down, setting records about how long it stays in space, what it's doing. You don't need vast, huge satellites anymore with the technology that we possess today. Now you have nanosats that are going up that are basically the size of building blocks that you had when you were kids, that can basically do things that big satellites that we're used to seeing could do. You have satellite killers that have been put into orbit that could actually change orbit and go and dismantle other countries' satellites. This is really just another way of the powers that shouldn't be really wreaking havoc on human life here on planet Earth and making it very, very hard for us to, get through this barbaric phase that we seem to be stuck in. The whole, all of humanity. You'd think by now, right, that we would get over this stuff, but we don't. There's just as much hate and discontent in the world as there was World War II, World War I, Spanish-American War, Napoleonic Wars. It doesn't matter. You can go back as far as you want. Spanish Inquisition. The death and destruction here on this planet is worse than it was during the medieval times. It really was. I mean, outside of improved hygiene in some of the first world countries, we're really just as barbaric as we've ever been. Only now we have technology that just takes that barbarism to a new level. Couple that with the fact that we're extremely self-centered, especially here in the United States. The family values are eroding. You have different values being pushed on you by the mainstream media and other organizations. rather than being able to draw your own conclusions of your own free will. So, lots of propaganda out there, lots of different types of warfare. The last place we need to be screwing with right now is space. We've got so many other problems to deal with. Let's just go screw up space too, right? You know, the fact that everybody's so reliant on GPS now. Yeah, let's go put weapons up in space so that, you know, China, Russia can respond in kind. And then in turn, oh, you know, one day, oh, why does GPS not work? Oh, people forgot to learn how to, people forgot how to read atlases and road maps. What are we going to do? Remember the AAA triptych? Yeah, those virtually extinct dinosaurs may be back in full effect if we continue down this road of weaponized space. Who knows? The time will tell. I'm Joe Joseph. This was thedailysheeple.com's News Shot. Feel free to comment below and visit our website at thedailysheeple.com. Have a great day, everybody.